This was me before, and this is me now. If you're a nerdy guy who's skinny fat, invisible, gets rejected by girls, and has low confidence, then this video is for you. That was me for years. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how I transformed my body, my mind, and my identity, and how you can implement the exact same methods I did. So for years, I was what we would call skinny fat. I had very little muscle mass. I wasn't a big guy, but I also didn't have definition either. I didn't have a six-pack or a clean jawline, anything like that. I had skinny arms. I had a weak overall structure, and I had the worst posture when I was walking. Like, this meme is exactly how I walked for years. I had low energy and low aura. People didn't notice that I existed. I just was there. And I wasn't even healthy. I would literally have my heart beating fast just from walking upstairs. Zero athletic ability. I hated sports. I could not play sports at all. I didn't just feel invisible. I knew I was invisible. I would literally get rejected by every girl that I tried to date. They would ghost me, things just wouldn't work out, and I felt miserable. I found it very hard to make new friends, and I knew that people didn't respect me inherently. You know when you can just tell from how people treat you if they respect you or not. Back in high school, I was too shy to even try to play sports. I was too shy to speak in class. I could barely do that. I knew deep down that there was some sort of burning desire deep within, but I couldn't unlock it. I just didn't have the awareness or the confidence. And because my social life was at rock bottom, I decided to be playing video games for, no joke, 12 hours per day. My mum would tell me to limit it to 8 hours a day, and I would get mad and tell her that 8 hours just isn't enough. It's not long enough. My whole life had zero structure. It would just be stay up late, play video games, go to school, get mediocre grades, speak to my few friends, but not talk to anyone else, come home, eat food, play video games, repeat. I remember back in school when the teacher would ask me a question in class, I would stutter, I would go red. I just didn't know what to do. I was absolutely clueless socially. I remember back then when a girl would talk to me, I just did not know what to say. I had no idea. So I would be sweating, going red, and it was just an absolute disaster. Terrible. Absolutely zero masculine presence. Zero confidence. So this brought me to an emotional breaking point. The constant rejection from girls, the struggle to feel respected by guys that I admired. I realized that faking confidence or getting a new haircut, improving my style just was not going to work for me. I needed to rebuild the fundamentals of my body and my mind from step zero. The thing that needed to change was my identity, my whole being, how I viewed myself. This deep shame within me gave me a deep drive to improve fast. Self-hatred, you could say, was my driver to improve. I needed to get better fast. My identity was that of a skinny fat nerd who likes mathematics, computer science, physics, but can't talk to girls, so he resorts to video games and anime. So no matter what I did to improve back then, it would not have worked because my identity was so negative. I wasn't thinking positively about myself at all, ever. It was always negative. Like, I can't do this. You're not capable of doing this. This isn't you. That kind of thing. So, any small improvements that I put forward would not make any significant difference in my life at all. So, I knew my body needed to change. I needed to get muscular and lean. That was going to be my driver. But there was a problem. I was way too shy to go to the gym because people would judge me. They would think, what the hell is this guy doing in here? He's so skinny. I was afraid of being judged deeply. So I didn't try anything risky or out there, out of my comfort zone. My self esteem was rock bottom. My self esteem was right at zero. I felt like I didn't belong in fitness. I couldn't play sports in school. I sucked at it. I had no confidence. So who am I to get in shape? I don't deserve that. That was the old identity talking. I just tried to start with what I could do. So I would train for 45 to 60 minutes every day in my bedroom after school. This was the first time in my life that I'd ever been disciplined with anything. I honestly shocked myself. I didn't think I was capable of it, but I stuck to this routine for a whole year, 5 days a week, calisthenics in my bedroom. I'm so grateful to my younger self for sticking to this routine for a whole year. And I don't think I ever skipped any days, which I'm so impressed by. And I wish I could speak to that younger version of myself and thank him. Okay, so eventually, after that year, I began to go to the gym properly. I went to the closest gym to me, which was a bodybuilding gym, and it was terrifying. I walked in, I was tiny, and there was all these massive, huge bodybuilders. And I was terrified. I was terrified because I did not know what I was doing in the gym at all. I just tried out different machines and just tried to enjoy it. I was still super nervous around others. Like, I wouldn't talk to anyone in the gym. I would just have my headphones on and would stay quiet. I did have a friend that I would go with on these early sessions, and I'm so happy that I had him there with me. It made the whole thing like 10 times less stressful having someone there that you can rely on, that you're close with. So, thank you. Early on, I was very inconsistent with my sessions. I wouldn't go too often. I would just go maybe twice a week if I could, but it was a start. Of course, I wanted to bulk up because I was very skinny. So I just ate as much food as I could, as much food as humanly possible it is to consume. And it worked a little bit, but I gained too much body fat. I ate too much junk food to bulk up. This is what we'd call dirty bulking, and you should never do this. Never. Plus, my meals didn't have enough protein, so I was only gaining a little bit of muscle, but I was gaining a lot of body fat. So I thought that I was getting bigger, which I was, but not in the right way. Not in the way that I intended. Another issue I had early on was that I tried to perfect my workouts way too much. I tried to structure everything exactly. I tried to achieve perfection, which I really didn't need. I just needed some sort of consistency. I think it's the inclination of us guys who are into STEM, mathematics, engineering, technology sort of subjects. We like to systemize things and find the best possible routine as soon as possible. But I didn't need that. I was simply overthinking. I'd also change my routine way too often. I would listen to so many different fitness influencers that it gave me a sort of analysis paralysis where I didn't know what advice to listen to. So I would just listen to everything and get confused. This set me back possibly years of progress. I could have been in way, way, way better shape now if I had cut back all the noise and just followed one path and gotten really good at it. At this point, my identity was still pretty negative. It was getting better slowly, but generally, I still saw myself as that nerdy guy who was bad with girls and had low confidence. So then eventually, I had to figure out a system that I could repeat consistently. A system that wouldn't just rely on in the moment motivation, but something that could be done day after day that wouldn't take too much mental energy. So I boiled it down to a simple 3-step approach. I had my training, my calories, and my sleep. So to go into the training, this was a simple 3-day per week routine. Push, pull, legs. And now that's very standard. However, I added in some extra secret sauce to build masculine aesthetics. So typically people don't do this, but I figured out that this was the quickest way to change how people perceived me physically immediately. And that is neck training. Neck training is going to give you that masculine appearance in clothes where people are going to know that you train and that you're in good shape immediately. And the second secret sauce is forearm training. This is going to make you look bigger in clothes, going to give you that huge looking frame. I realized that you don't need to be a huge guy. You just need presence in the room that you're in. And training your neck and your forearms is going to give you that presence quicker than any other muscle group could achieve. And then number 2, your calories. So I decided that I was no longer going to live with zero structure in my life. I wanted things to be uniform and systemized. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you need to be tracking your calories and your protein. Now, personally, the way I did it, I went to this website called calculator.net, and you can calculate your exact number of calories that you need to be eating to hit your goals. So I went on here, got my number, and then I put it in to an app called MyFitnessPal. And I use MyFitnessPal to track all my meals, all my protein, so then I can see exactly if I'm on track or I'm slipping off. Number 3, and this is your sleep. This is arguably the most important part of all. You need to be sleeping minimum 9 hours per night. None of this 4-hour grind set bullshit anymore. You need to be sleeping consistently for many, many hours per night. For example, if we assume that the average person has a sleep efficiency of roughly 80%, and this person is going to sleep for 10 hours, they're going to be in bed for 10 hours. How much sleep are they actually going to get? That's going to be 8 hours, which is just about okay. But that is for 10 hours in bed. Most people, if they're lucky, 6 hours in bed. And then the number of hours you're actually sleeping and recovering is dropping off very fast. So I like to be in bed personally for at least 9 to 10 hours. My sleep efficiency is quite a bit better than the average person now after years of tracking my sleep. So I can get away with 9 hours in bed instead of 10. But for the average person, you're going to need that 10 hours in bed or more. So I need you to block off a bigger chunk of time for sleep. You need this to be a priority, genuinely. And now, once I started implementing these three things, I started to view myself differently. I was no longer a skinny, fat nerd. I became a masculine guy who can achieve anything he wants if he puts his mind to it. People treated me differently subconsciously. I was giving off a different vibe. Um, I started to be able to actually talk to people because I respected myself. So I gave off the aura of being respected. I suddenly became more charismatic. I could actually speak to girls and attract them. I could speak to strangers when previously I couldn't even speak to people that I knew. Everything changed. Everything, genuinely. My whole life shifted. I was no longer thinking in these negative thought patterns. It's like the sun was shining on me suddenly. It's like after years of living in darkness, the sun came out and was shining on me. So now let's skip to today. I have round capped shoulders. I have big traps, a thick neck. I have presence, finally. I've got a visible six pack year round. I have no resemblance to the old me. I've finally got a body and mind that commands respect. I'm no longer invisible, and that's good. I walk into a room and people notice me immediately. Men respect me more. Women actually attract. Men respect me way more. Women are attracted way more. My presence, my charisma, my confidence is all increased 1,000x. And this spills over to all other areas of my life. I've got more ambition to achieve my goals, better drive, social skills, discipline. I'm now on a path that I know will give me my dream life. And it's all because I started in the gym all those years ago. And I can still enjoy all my nerdy hobbies. Now I can still enjoy all my nerdy hobbies with zero shame because I respect myself now. I'm not hiding behind a screen. I'm simply adding to my life. So why do I help skinny fat engineers? Because I was in that position, sitting in the dark, coding for hours, feeling low confidence about my body, being unable to talk to girls, having no confidence. I know that pain deeply. I've helped myself become the man that I always wanted to be. Now I want to help others make that exact same shift. This is what you need to hear. You can become whoever you want. You have agency over your own life. You do have control, and you are deserving of whatever aspirations or dreams you desire. Even if you think you don't, you do deserve it. I work with skinny fat engineers one-to-one. We can shift your identity from being a skinny fat engineer coding for hours with no social life to a confident guy who is working hard in his career but has the body and mindset to back that up. I understand exactly how you feel. I'm not just some generic coach. I've been exactly in your position. I know all the pain that you felt. I specialize in transformations for this exact kind of guy. If you want to start your very own journey, DM me engineer on Instagram. My Instagram will be in the description below this video and on screen right now. You don't have to stay invisible forever. You can start your very own new chapter today, exactly like I did. If I can do it, then you can. I'm not some super genius or special gifted guy. I'm just a regular dude who's nerdy and was once very shy and low self esteem. You don't need to believe it just yet. Just piggyback off my belief. Believe in my belief and see where that takes you. I know that you can do this. Your life can change with a single decision. DM me, engineer, on Instagram. Thank you very much for watching. Follow for more.